It all starts with a live stream that no one can explain. A phone balanced against a streetlight, wind hissing into the microphone, and a man alone in an empty intersection, dancing. Not to music, not for an audience, and not for likes. His limbs jerk at the wrong angles, like he's being pulled by something just out of frame. The chat filled with laughing emojis at first, then concern, then bananas and grapes. Then silence, followed by more bits and more bananas and more grapes. Then silence when he doesn't stop. Followed by skull emojis, 100s and fire. The stream runs for 10 hours. By morning, emergency rooms report patients who can't sit still, can't lie down, can't stop moving, shoes soaked with blood, people dressed as Spider-Man Miles Morales, muscles tearing themselves apart. Some swear they hear a rhythm no one else can hear, something pounding just beneath their skin. Officials call it mass hysteria. Social media calls it a challenge. The church calls it Satan. History calls it something else. In 1518, in the Strasbourg region of France, French men, women, and children danced in the streets until they collapsed, convulsed, and died. Priests blamed demons. Doctors prescribed more dancing. The plague spread anyways. And now, 5 centuries later, we have to ask ourselves, could the movement happen again? Some say it already has with TikTok. Tonight, we're stepping into the shadow of the dancing plague of France. A story where the body becomes a prison, silence becomes a drumbeat, and the most terrifying part isn't why they danced, but rather that they begged to stop and couldn't. Just like TikTok.
Pretty much.
You ever seen those, the cosplaying? So I've seen 2, and they're old. Like, there's the Miles Morales cosplayer that goes, thanks for the bits. Like, thanks for the berries. Like, strawberry, banana. And, like, each, like, emoji is, like, a actual dollar value amount. And then there's the guy that's, like, glizzies. He's like Glizzy Gobbler, like initiated. Like, did you ever see that?
Nope, I haven't seen any of that. But I take your
hold on.
I'll take your word for it.
I want you to put this in the video. Glizzy TikTok.
Entering Glizzy Overdrive.
My piper needs to be fired. Can't even pull up a simple
increasing grip by 7%. We are locked in. Thank you for over 160 glizzies and doing Glizzy Overdrive.
What the fuck was that?
These people were being paid. People were making money just doing that on live stream on TikTok, dude.
Oh god, man. Oh Jesus Christ! Oh.
Yeah, we're so cooked.
For those of you who are wondering, my intro is destroyed, and today's roast comes straight from the Alsace region of France.
Alsace-Lorraine.
Yeah, there you go. During this episode, we are going to be talking about the mysterious and deadly dancing plague. As Fernando alluded to earlier, some could say that today's modern dancing plague is TikTok. It's fair enough. Sam laughed in the background, so.
I mean, I knew there was a dancing plague on TikTok when my dad made a TikTok account, and I remember seeing a TikTok of him doing the Jason Derulo, like do 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 do. I forgot what that song was. It's
well, that was also
Savage
like
Love.
That was like when
Something
TikTok
like
first got like very popular, and I hated that song. Yeah. It drove me insane. And
sorry.
The worst part about TikTok is when someone's reading the comments and they leave the fucking volume and video going over and over and over as they try to read it. And it's like, for the love of fucking God, pause the video if you're going to read the comments, please. Did you hear that?
I agree with that.
Okay. She said fuck off.
She's probably flipping you off. Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I would.
I'm a boomer when it comes to TikTok. If I'm being honest, when it comes to
You
any
have a
short
very
form
boomer
content,
personality.
I'm an
Yeah,
old-
you're a man that likes to be in bed by 8.
damn straight.
Mow his lawn at 6 a.m. on a Saturday.
No, I am not that person. I hate mowing my lawn. To be honest with you, I hate it.
Yelling at kids for having fun. Yelling at old people for being old.
Do boomers yell at old people for being old? I thought they're like, I salute you. That's what I thought they did. They just assume that every old man
Okay, maybe
was in the service or something
fought
like that.
in the
Just
war.
Like, thank you. I tip my hat to you, sir.
thank you for your service. As you're wearing a fucking Red Bull fucking hat.
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, I'm an old soul. I'll be the first to admit that. I like a slow paced life. It's my thing. I like it.
I respect it.
But yeah, so thankfully though, this time around, I'm pretty sure we both know of the dancing plague, right? We're both kind of familiar with it.
I learned about it. I remember that.
Okay, cool. So I know a lot of people actually don't know about this.
I always thought it was. That's interesting to me because like, it's such a weird phenomena, right?
Mm-hmm.
That it makes you think either these people were fucking pulling the biggest fucking prank since like planking. Demons are real and these people were possessed, or something was so neurologically wrong. Like, what is that? It's that one disease that we always have to get shots for, like when we were in college. It affects the brain, like brain swelling or something. I'm not sure. It's gonna bug me.
Oh, Tylenol.
Yes, the Tylenol.
Shit. I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of it. Oh God, I don't know. Well, I know what you're talking about. I don't know. I mean, like, it could be like ergot. Is it ergot?
Meningitis.
Ergot? Oh, meningitis. Yeah,
Meningitis.
I mean, meningitis can screw you up like really badly. Like it can kill you. I think.
It can put you in a coma. It can do a lot of really fucked up stuff. That's why they make you get it in college. I forget why I had to get it for college, but I guess being in a dorm room with a bunch of other people is like a really big risk factor that you have to get it.
Well, now that my mother is going to be getting her, what do you call it? NP? What it is? ND? ND? Yeah. We'll have to like use her as like the line, call her and like be like, hey, tell us about this medical issue, because we have enough of those where we discuss things and we're just kind of going off the fly. So, Mom, we're gonna be calling you eventually and using you as a resource for medical terminology.
Oh, dude, your mom should be glad she's not in contact with me, because I'd be asking her all my symptoms every day. Be like, hey, do you think this is cancer?
Yeah, she. But yeah, so maybe. I'm sure she'd love to be on the show. So she's.
We should.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, our 2 viewers, if you want to be on this show, just go. Let us know. We'll host you.
We have 3 viewers. My mom, my dad, and my sister.
Hey, shout out. Oh, I forgot your dad's first name.
Billy.
Wait, Billy. I was gonna say Carl, but that's your grandpa. That's Grandpa Carl.
No, it's Grandpa Clifford.
Clifford, not Carl.
I don't have a Carl in my family. The way Carl was my username.
Know what it is? Yeah, I was gonna say it's because you're fucking camping Carl, camping Carlos, culture vulture.
All right. Well, speaking of medical phenomena, do you want to get into this?
How about that? Let's get into this sucker.
All righty. Let me clear my throat.
You need help?
No, I don't need help. Thanks. Oh, sure. I forgot my tea. Damn it! I always drink tea when I do this, but whatever. It's okay.
It's too late.
It is too late. This is now morning.
I can offer alternative measures.
No, I don't want that. I'm just gonna read this.
Like a chimney. Okay, just go.
I'm just gonna read. Okay.
By all means.
By the time the 16th century rolled around, the Alsace region of France was home to some of the most anxious people ever to grace this earth. The major reason for this collective anxiety was the fact that these citizens were the children and grandchildren of those who had survived the dreaded Black Plague. Similar to the likes of their millennial descendants, existential dread remained stubbornly high among this population. And then there was the overt corruption that was occurring at the highest levels of society. Oh my God, I almost had a stroke. Yes, much like today, there was also high levels of corruption going on. But local and regional politicians, as well as even monks and priests, frequently engaged in a wide array of unethical activities. This included the likes of utilizing taxes for personal purchases, vast overuse of nepotism when dishing out jobs, and even clergy members soliciting prostitutes. As author
This
John,
sounds very modern day.
doesn't it? It's so topical. It's like, and this was like in the 16th century, people. This was a long time ago, and shit has not changed.
Listen, we just went from serfdom / calling people lords to calling people CEOs. That's all that changed.
That's it. Just the title. That's all that has changed. Nothing else has changed.
We're still peasants, maybe.
As author John Waller puts it, monks and priests shamelessly took concubines, and all had a greater appetite for meat, drink, and sleep than for prayer or pastoral duties. Yeah, not much has changed. Personal tax rates were set at extremely high levels, and the actual land usage of public property by citizens was kept at an insulting minimum. Peasants were forbidden from allowing their livestock to graze on common pastures. Fishing in local ponds was outlawed. Foraging in the forest for berries and lumber was outlawed, as well as hunting game. Unsurprisingly, a direct result of this was that citizens grew extremely distrustful of their local politicians and clergy members. In one example of attempted vigilante justice, a member of the community began to keep track of deliveries of wine and barley that were being delivered to the homes of the local clergy. When the man decided to finally confront one of the senior monks and ask who was consuming all of this sinful material, he was threatened by the monk and told that if he ever told anybody else about what he'd witnessed, he wouldn't make it to the next mass.
Yo, this just screams mega church behavior.
Oh my God, yeah, like it's kind of like it's a cult.
You ever see that? There was I forgot which pastor it was, but he was really famous, and he was being interviewed by like some media people about private jet use that was supposed to be for the church, and he was using it for like I forgot what he was using it for, but they asked him a question. He went viral, like kind of like a meme, because he got like really uppity and really like, don't ever ask about my jet again. And he looked like a demon, dude, with his eyes. It's just like, oh,
yeah, because the real him came out real fast. So, yeah, this, I'm sure it's happened a lot. I mean, it's not really joking. It is very topical, but I'm sure this region was not the only area that was experiencing this, but this apparently had high levels of, like, everybody knew there was corruption and everyone was having issues, but there's also other issues that happened here that caused, everything to be real bleak. In addition to everything I've mentioned, there was a solid 2 decades of hell that made the Alsace region even more unbearable than it already was. Here's just a few things that happened. In 1492, there was a total crop failure, leading to starvation and a huge outbreak of sickness. In response to that, in 1493, there was a massive syphilis outbreak. Fast forward 7 more years, another total crop failure. 7 more years, hail the size of apples hit the region, and this also led to crop failure. In 1511, the bubonic plague came back for a moment. In 1514, there was another round of total crop failure. 2 years later, in 1516, there was another total crop failure. And the next year, dubbed the bad year, if you can believe that, it does get worse. There was total crop failure, large hail once again, smallpox, leprosies, and finally something called English sweat, which essentially you sweat until you died. That all happened in
I wonder what that disease was.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want it, though. It doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, living back then was not for the, not a lot of people made it. It's amazing that humanity made it this far. And now look at us.
25 was like middle age back then.
That was like full life expectancy.
I'm sure the life expectancy was probably in the 30s back then. That was what you could reasonably expect back then. We'd be like the senior members of the community right now.
Oh, hell yeah. They'd be like, oh, it's a miracle he made it to 34.
He must be a demon. Or a witch.
Or chosen by God.
Or chosen by God. Any one of those, I guess. So because of all this, mental health deteriorated rapidly and led to people experiencing visions of dead people walking the earth. In one instance, a woman claimed that she saw her dead husband holding his own severed head. I'm going to go on a limb here and say she's probably suffering from English sweat and was probably hallucinating, along with other people.
Nearly headless Nick.
Nearly headless Nick from Harry Potter.
Yes, sir.
At this point, it was now quite apparent that this part of France had been dealt quite the bad hand when it came to cataclysmic events. Between the rampant crop failures and sickness, it at least appeared that it couldn't get much worse. I mean, how do you top the dead rising from the grave, after all? Despite these horrors, however, it appeared that God wasn't quite done with the French. It is going to get worse.
He never is, dude.
No, he never is.
I really want to talk about the plague one of these podcasts in general, because we mentioned it here, but like that thing nearly wiped humanity out forever.
Yeah, like a third of our population went away.
So close. We were so close to like extinction, dude. Like we were. I don't know how we came back from that. That's insane.
We came back very strong.
That's the rise of the plague mask.
Yep.
And then we fucking nearly blew it again.
We need to find one next time we go to Salem. Let's find a plague mask.
That'd be pretty fun.
I want to shove some herbs in the mask.
Yeah, to prevent the disease from getting you. Just some incense. Potpourri.
Potpourri. I mean, that's easy to get there.
Poopery. Anyways, back to the dance. The first dance, if you will. The next unfortunate chapter in French history occurred on July 14th, 1518, when a woman by the name of Frau Troffea shuffled into the town of Strasbourg. Once she arrived in the town square, a man noticed her state. She looked ill, as she was pale, well, more pale than usual, and appeared to be in a bit of a daze. When he proceeded to ask if she was all right, her only response was silence.
It's like the horror movie, like when you're coming up and she's like standing there and all of a sudden like the riser's coming up and you know something's going to happen.
The risers as in the music?
Yeah. And like then they turn around and it's like, you know.
Like an Insidious?
Yes.
Well, it's funny that they talk about the paleness because like I actually found out through like a history video I was watching that how women like to put blush on.
Yeah.
And like the redness of the cheeks is actually something that people got from, they used to call, consumption, which is also known as,
it's not tuberculosis, right?
It is tuberculosis. They called it the beautiful disease, or like, because women would get this like thin waist, really red, rosy cheeks, because like your body's eating itself.
Right, it's wasting away.
And it's wasting away. But people were like, "Damn, you look hot."
Thanks, I'm dying.
Well, like they tried to mimic it with makeup and garters or whatever.
Not much has changed there either.
I'm saying, dude. So she didn't respond, but what she did begin to do was she began to dance. The jig lasted for hours upon hours. It lasted so long, in fact, that she eventually passed out and then proceeded to wake up and continue to dance. At first, people thought that Frau was simply dancing as an act of rebellion against her husband, who supposedly hated dancing. It's just like a Footloose.
It's exactly like Footloose.
It's just like Footloose.
It's literally the same story. Just watch Footloose and you know all about the dancing play.
Kevin Bacon, baby.
It's got some snazzy dance moves.
The notion went out the window, however, when on the third day, people began to notice the blood oozing out of her shoes. Oof.
Yeah, it's kind of
grody.
the
Sores on her feet. Witnesses eventually began to come to the conclusion that it wasn't spite that drove the women to such intense action, but rather the curse of a divine entity.
Of course.
Specifically, it's Satan. It's always Satan, trust.
But it's not Satan this time.
Specifically, it was presumed by many that the deity responsible was none other than that of Saint Vitus. Saint Vitus. I don't know this one.
Is it Vitus? I think it's Vitus.
Vitus? Fetus?
I think it's Vitus.
Let me explain. Saint Vitus was a young Christian martyr from Sicily who was believed to have died during the Diocletian prosecution in 303 AD, around the age of 13. Eventually, the young saint became known for miracles, especially around the healing of nervous disorders. He was viewed as a patron of dancers, actors, and against storms, with legends often depicting him surviving torture in boiling oil and being licked by lions. This sounds familiar, but I think in Christian, I don't know. I remember something about lions in the Christian Bible, but I forget. Like someone was thrown into the lion's den. Was it Peter? I don't know. One of the apostles.
Why was he
or
being
something.
licked by lions? Like, how is surviving?
Well, no, he was like thrown into like a lion's den for like execution, and the lions never killed him. They just kind of like
Lick them like a cat?
essentially like just let him be.
That's kind of cute.
And people are like, what? Unfortunately, despite the magnitude of this revelation, not much more was documented regarding Frau's condition. The likely reason for this lack of evidence probably comes down to the high likelihood that it was overshadowed by what happened only a mere 7 days later, or the fact that it's like 500 years ago, and I don't think many people knew how to read or write.
They also didn't have sticky notes back then, so, you know.
Nope. Not access to ink, quills. On July 21st, 34 more people began to dance. As one historian puts it, chronicles tell us that those who were momentarily roused from their trances screamed for help from bystanders, God, and the saints. So at this moment, you may be asking yourself why the people of Strasbourg automatically blamed Saint Vitus. Well, as it turns out, there happened to be a shrine to the saint just a mere 30 miles away from the town of Strasbourg.
Isn't it obvious? Obviously.
I don't think it is.
I mean,
obviously.
Who else could it be? What else could it be?
I have no idea.
I am actually surprised they didn't blame the devil, to be honest with you, because everything was the devil's fault.
I mean, usually it's always the devil, dude.
But
Like being left-handed, devil's work.
are you left-handed?
No.
Oh,
My
man.
little nephew is, though. But it was a thing. People thought left-handedness was like a sign of the devil, like a wicked thing. It's the devil's hand.
What if you're like ambidextrous?
Oh, then you're definitely getting burned at the stake. That's definitely devil work if I've ever seen.
I wish it was ambidextrous. Think about how much like faster you could write. I guess being able to write
It's like
with
those
both
people that
hands is not the same as actually being able to think separately and write two different things. That's got to be like even more rare.
That's got to be a brain thing at that point, in the sense that like, if you could, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't like trying to write like one story here with a different story here. That's got to be like insane.
It's like if you have like dual personality, like one's controlling this,
Something.
one's controlling that. All right, so as you mentioned, we have about 30-ish people dancing, right? To their little heart's content.
34, something
34?
like that.
34? Yeah, 34. So,
So wait, did Frau die at this point? Is she dead?
no one really knows what happened to her, but it's safe to assume that probably. I mean, if she's like, patient zero, then, and they weren't able to solve anything by then, that you would kind of come to the conclusion that she just danced until she died, right? I mean,
I would assume so.
so Frau's probably dead, or she's a straight jacket
Fraulein.
somewhere. If they had straight jackets,
I don't think those were invented yet.
Okay, she's in the stockade then, and she's still dancing. She's shaking everything. So now, having over 30 people become afflicted with this new and mysterious dancing plague, a local count of magistrates decided that it was time to consult some actual doctors. Crazy. After a brief evaluation, the doctors diagnosed the subjects as having hot blood. Thankfully, however, they did have a solution. More dancing.
No, they didn't.
I swear to God, more dancing. In order to carry out this unorthodox method of treatment, local builders were hired to construct dancing arenas in the middle of town. After these facilities were built, the afflicted were then
dance off.
It's basically France has got talent. It's just constant dancing. After these facilities were built, the afflicted were then escorted to these areas to carry out their doctor's strict orders of shaking a leg. By the time these areas
Shake that ass.
Yeah, shake that ass, shake the leg. You know, they're doing like the Carlton. They're doing just everything. It's just
God,
it's just a bunch of
one.
white people dancing really badly, probably. but by the time these areas were fully constructed, over 50 people were now bopping around without the ability to stop. So the numbers are increasing. So by the time they built everything up, which I can't imagine these are super nice facilities. So we'll say it's probably like a week they were able to kind of like throw us all together. They probably threw some like hay bales around and like put some boards down.
Maybe put up a really shoddy picket fence.
Probably something like that.
Some wooden boards, yeah.
I'm sure they didn't build like a nice like deck. I'm sure it's nothing like that.
Yeah.
So now they have 50 people up here dancing. And in order to maximize, you know, the dancing, because the dancing is apparently the cure to the dancing, they hired musicians to play music. When the physicians felt that faster dancing was required, they would then instruct the players to speed up the tempo.
I wonder if they were playing the, like, what is it? What do bards play? Like a mandolin or something?
Yeah, just like going like all out, like everyone just like dancing, like going faster and faster before collapsing left and right. I mean, I'm sure the musicians were having a ball with this. I mean, there's no way they weren't having fun here. To be. Also, in addition to hiring musicians, they hired people to go into the crowd of dancers and egg them on when they were getting tired. When the dancers would inevitably collapse, these same people would actually proceed to lift them to their feet and continue pushing them to dance more. So literally they are, you know, as if it wasn't bad enough, they're being forced to dance now. I don't know what the punishment for
they weren't afraid of like catching it.
Well,
contracting dancing disease.
We're gonna get into that actually.
We're gonna get to that.
Yeah,
we always do. We always do here at our Mourning Brew.
It's funny because you always bring this up, like basically the paragraph before I actually explain it. It's kind of funny.
I always do. I always ask the question. Like, I should just assume.
You should.
But then again, like, I kind of speak for the audience a little bit here because, like, well, what's going on? What would cause such a thing?
Well, unfortunately, because the dancing plague was what many scholars of today would probably classify as a psychological disease, it turns out putting it on full display in front of the whole town wasn't the move. As a result of having this phenomenon play out in the middle of town, more and more people witnessed the dancing and inevitably became afflicted themselves. Just a month later, the numbers of chronic dancers more than doubled. According to accounts of a local merchant who witnessed the event, he stated that in the year 1518, in summer, lots of people died of the St. Vitus dance in Strasbourg. About 15 people died in a single day from dancing. Or I guess exhaustion. That's, to be fair, that's what is obviously killing
people. What do you think is a similar psychological disease that could affect such a thing?
There's something actually I want to cover. I do want to cover this story. I won't give too much into it because it's a topic I want to cover. But in Australia, there was a family of like mother, father, and then 2 daughters and a brother, I think. And this wasn't that long ago. This was like maybe 10 years ago, maybe a little more. And one day they literally just got in the car and started driving. And the whole entire family was convinced that they were being followed and the government was after them and they had to do all this shit and stuff like that. And
I think I vaguely remember this story.
It's very interesting, but they were all under this, you know, the 2 parents were definitely under it. And then the kids were kind of like, what the fuck is going on? And eventually the kids like kind of like bolted because they were scared of their parents. But they eventually returned and everything went back to normal and they do not talk about it. So I don't know. Like, I think anxiety can have a lot to do with it. I think, I mean, like, I'm not saying if you have anxiety, you're going to experience this, but like, I don't know. I mean, you know, maybe drug use. I mean, like, I guess like maybe ergot. Like,
lead poisoning, maybe. I don't know.
Ergot, which is found in like, it's like a fungus that grows in wheat. They blamed like some people blame the Salem witch trials on that. So maybe something like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think psychological disorders that are actually like epidemics are very hard to
Yeah, no.
study because we haven't had a lot.
It's got to be like something environmental, or I don't know.
You'd think. I mean, I honestly
Something.
don't know. It's crazy to me. Like it might as well be magic, honestly, to me, because I just don't understand it. But I guess
But as we know, magic's not real.
True. There is no magic in this world, and if there ever was, it all died.
It got copyright stricken by Disney.
Oh God, there's only one most magical place in the world, and it's Disney. Oh shit. So yeah, 15 people died in one single day. Eventually,
Very somber.
it is, and it's getting bad. Like it's not stopping.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to point out that never really came up is I don't know if people. Don't worry, it comes to a natural conclusion. But I don't know if people ever like just stopped in the middle of it, like got better and stopped. It doesn't appear that way because it just seems like it's just getting worse and worse and worse. So eventually it became quite obvious to the town's various leaders that the current plan was not working. They then ordered everyone to go home. They tore down the dancing areas and sent everyone home. And then they proceeded to ban music entirely, or at least almost entirely. The playing of tambourines and drums were strictly forbidden. However, for some reason, they were still okay with string instruments. I don't know why, but you can get down to the guitar, but not the drums or the tambourine. Despite this lack of music, however, people continued to dance within their homes. Finally, the clergy and various politicians throughout Strasbourg had no choice but to come to the conclusion that the sickness was not caused by hot blood. Instead, they now believe that this ailment was a direct result of the decaying morals that had enveloped the city for decades. Yes, this was in fact a curse by the mighty Saint Vitus himself. So they actually had to look inward and be like, wow, we're shitty people and we caused this. That's kind of where they're at right now. Crazy, if you think about it.
I mean, the closest they'll get to like self-reflection, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, for these kind of people, I guess. The fact that they actually were able to come to that conclusion, though, is it's a sign of growth,
Something people kind of wish during our plague that we had a couple of years ago. Maybe some people did a little bit more soul searching instead of alternate researching.
Yeah, and being angry at everybody, and yeah.
Anyways, let's get back to this plague. The Cure, not the band from the 80s, which is a good band, by the way. Boys don't cry. Except I cry, but that's okay. But Robert Smith from The Cure told me not to cry. Wait, what's his name? Robert Smith?
I don't know. I know who The Cure is, but I do not know the band members.
Something Smith. He's the lead singer. Yeah, Robert Smith, my guy. So now that the townsfolk knew without a doubt what was causing the rampant dancing, they now needed to find a new way to appease the angered saint. Thankfully, the local clergy knew just the trick, as they always do. Okay, now I hear the printer. I think I hear the printer now. Is the printer going?
It is. It's probably when I talk.
Okay, I think I heard you now. Yeah. Okay, do I go?
Yeah, go. Sorry.
Okay. So now that the townsfolk knew without a doubt what was causing the rampant dancing, they needed to find a way to appease the angered saint. Thankfully, the local clergy knew just the trick. Sorry.
You okay?
I can hear like feedback, I think, or something. I don't know if it's the printer or what, but it's okay. We'll edit it out in post or something. First, a large 110-pound wax statue of Saint Vitus was built and brought to the shrine of Saint Vitus. So another Saint Vitus. Okay. Then they lined up dozens of wagons and proceeded to load over 200 of the afflicted into them. While on the wagons, the sick were given red shoes, possibly to cover up the blood. Who knows? Once the wagons were loaded, they then shuttled the dancers all the way to the temple, And when they arrived, the dancers were then formed into a line where they proceeded to dance in place. One by one, the dancers were given a penny and instructed to first dance around the altar before finally tossing the penny at the statue. After each afflicted individual had done this, they were herded back into the carts and brought back home. Surely this couldn't possibly work. I mean, wait, what? It did? Yes, as it turns out, I am now just receiving this information. It did work. In the following days, the dancing subsided more and more before it was finally extinguished entirely. So what happened? Well, there are various theories. But oddly enough, it is believed by many that it was the power of love and possibly friendship. Allow me to explain. Most people believe the dancing plague was a psychological phenomenon that led to a shared mass of psychogenic illness or mass hysteria. Think Salem witch trials, but without the murder and a lot more dancing, less stoning and crushing, burning and drowning. With this hypothesis in mind, it is very easy to believe that the cause of the outbreak itself was due to the incredible stress that the townsfolk of Strasbourg had been experiencing for decades. After all, they had witnessed unparalleled death and destruction and corruption at the highest of levels. And sometimes you just got to let loose by just shaking that derriere, you know? Just tapping that foot a little, wagging that finger. As a result, Jesus Christ.
You okay over there? You having a stroke?
Why, yes, my princess. You may please the king.
Fucking Elmer Fudd over here.
As a good princess.
Please stop.
As my princess desires. As a result, it is possible that the care and the affection that the townspeople experience may have ultimately cured them. As author Jennifer Wright puts it, the people of Strasbourg were abnormally kind to those afflicted. They didn't burn them at the stakes. They didn't permanently cast them out of the community. Thought and concern went into considering ways to make them healthy again. While we are making comparisons to the Salem witch trials, just think how those people handled this situation. And I think it's safe to say maybe a little bit more love, compassion, and empathy probably could have gone a long way in a lot of instances in society.
Yep.
Maybe even today. Food for thought.
100%. It is interesting though to think about that, because if you really do think about that time period, it's probably deserving of a case study why they didn't hurt these people, actually, because it was such a go-to method back then. If people were acting different, you killed them.
Affecting the town, you kill them.
Or put them in prison at least, you know what I mean? Like, and they didn't.
Let them rot.
Like, they didn't do that. That's crazy. I would be willing...
The French have been at the forefront of a lot of, like... I don't know, man. I feel like the French get a lot of things right.
They get some
Something
things
doesn't
right.
work. They're burning cars in the street.
Yeah, there's some interesting situations that they've been a part of. But hey, you know what? Like, they got what they want.
Shout out the French. Shout out Victor Wembanyama, my goat.
Just remember, I'm like 90% French, so there you go. That's where all my compassion.
You're Canadian
French.
French. That's different.
All my compassion comes. No. It's the same thing. It's where
France set the ones they didn't like. They're like, you go to Canada. You get out of here.
No, I'm the descendant of explorers and fur trappers. Beaver trappers.
Yeah, you like trapping beavers.
Caught myself a
no
pellet
beavers
too.
safe around you. Jesus.
Oh God. But yeah, no, it's kind of cool actually. You know, and in a way, it's kind of like. Don't get me wrong, these people, I'm not saying it erases all of their horrible misdeeds. I'm not saying that. But, you know, it's very rare that people, like politicians and clergy members, like people of power that have done horrible things like this, actually end up with some redeeming factors. So
bring back the guillotines.
I mean, yeah, bring those back. But yeah, it's kind of a nice story in a way that the townsfolk and their leaders actually kind of giving a shit about each other. Don't be wrong. I'm sure it was to save their own neck, because they're like, oh God, if if things are this bad, we're gonna go to hell or something like that. But you know what? Whatever. If that's what it took and it got them to do the right thing, then whatever.
There's a lot of probably, but who knows?
Right. We don't know. It was a long time ago.
But let's wrap this up. Let's put a conclusion on this thing. When the dancing finally ended in France in 1518, the streets grew quiet again. The crowds disappeared. Life slowly returned to normal. And yet, no one ever really agreed on what had happened. Historians have tried to explain it ever since, pointing to stress, famine, illness, and belief. Maybe it was fear moving through the community already pushed to its limit. Maybe it was the mind finding an outlet when there was no good options left. But the question people asked then is the same one we still ask now. Why couldn't they stop? Because whatever the cause, those who danced weren't celebrating. They were exhausted, frightened, and trapped in bodies that wouldn't listen. Their experience reminds us of how closely connected our minds, our environments, and each other really are. And that's why the dancing plague still matters today. Not as a curse or a warning, but as a glimpse into what happens when pressure builds quietly and release comes in unexpected ways. It's a story about people, not monsters, about communities, not contagions. And maybe that's the most unsettling part of it all.
Way to bring us home. How true.
Very beautifully put.
It's definitely a short one of the shortest ones I think we've done. But it was a long time ago.
I
and,
think
it's got a nice message.
For this, I think for where we're at in our lives currently, me and you specifically, this was very well needed.
Yeah.
Very well said.
I agree. I like that.
I like it. I think it's very topical, very moving, very good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Fair enough. So you asked me what I kind of thought, and I didn't really provide a great answer, but what do you think? What do you, is it kind of like something like I said, or what do you think happened? Why do you think they started dancing and they could not stop?
I think, maybe it was something, I think it could be a multitude of things. The two biggest ones are maybe it was just unbelievable stress and dread that led to a psychosis. Because mental health is really messed up. And if you just watched probably more than a third of your village die to the bubonic plague and catastrophe, crop failure, like you're probably fearing death. Mm-hmm. Probably just a little more than you probably were intended to. And then if not that, maybe something environmental, maybe mold, or who knows, the living conditions back then were like, not us, like probably not clean drinking water, probably not very well, like sanitary practices. Like,
they did.
Maybe there's a natural gas leak. I don't know.
They did. I kind of saw this, but remember, they were very limited where they could get their food, and stuff like that. So maybe they all started, it could have been any one of these avenues, but like having their livestock graze in a bad place, and they're eating the livestock, and then they get sick. Could be they all had to get water from a certain place.
Mad cow disease.
Mad cow disease. Could be they all had to get water from a certain place, like you kind of said, and they were all getting sick because the water was contaminated. Maybe because they were starving and they needed whatever, they started eating fucking berries that they shouldn't have been eating. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Who knows?
Berries and cream. Berries and cream. I love berries and cream.
That was another dancing plague. It turned out that poor man couldn't stop, and he just did it. And they saw ha ha, that guy's hilarious. No, it's from a commercial, and he literally kept doing it after the commercial. You could stop, and he's and he just keeps going, and he just ends up just dying from it. Maybe that's the horror. That's the horrible.
It's almost as bad as that guy that can't touch anything because it'll turn into Skittles.
Yeah.
Is it cool? Is it awesome that you can't touch the newborn child? I can't kiss my wife.
That's hilarious. I forgot about that. Oh, God. But yeah, so if you've listened this far, thanks again. I do want to let you know we will actually be, we're back. Right. We're kind of back to recording now.
We're kind of back. It's been a hard time for both of us. But that's life. Everyone has their own trials and tribulations they go through. It's just sometimes it's just darker for others than it is. And it's the reality of life. We're working, navigating, trying to go through it.
Very, very true.
Sorry to be so somber.
No, but it's okay. Like, trust me, we still like doing this. It's not like we're quitting. I mean,
I
this is
love
fun.
talking to Austin.
It's like one of our ways
It's
to
just-
hang out.
yeah.
So, I don't want to. Every time I have alluded to the next episode, something happens and we don't do it or whatever. So I'm not even going to allude to the next episode. It's always. I think it's bad luck on this podcast. It's bad luck if we mention what we're doing next. So I'm not going to do it. I'm done doing it. So we will be back with another episode. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. It'll be one of two things, and I have both the scripts ready to go. But that's all I'm going to say. But yeah,
That's all you should say.
that's all I should say. But if you liked what you saw, if you're on YouTube, drop a like, subscribe, comment, all that happy stuff.
Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts.
Give us a 5-star rating. I know Spotify, you can do ratings. I don't know about the others.
Give us a 1-star. Tell us why you hate us.
Yeah, give us something. Like
Interact
anything.
with us.
Exactly. Also, just put comments. I like talking to people. It's fun. It's actually the hardest thing about this channel compared to like our last channel that we had, which
Let me know your astrological sign.
Yeah, there you go. I do actually like interacting with, although I have to admit, I think the most people interact with on that other channel are bots, but hey, whatever. Like, it is what it is. It's still interaction. It still helps. Also, YouTube is like really pushing like sharing. I don't know why, but sharing the video is huge now. Like, that's one of their big key metrics at the moment. So do that if you want.
What's that key metric?
Sharing a video.
Sharing.
One of the big ones.
Yeah, it's kind of like the algorithm where you share a video and then like your entire fucking feed becomes chinchillas.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, your entire feed would become...
I lost my shit over a chinchilla dying this past week that I had no fucking idea. I never knew him. I never met him, but God, did I cry so hard.
Chinchillas are
Rest
adorable.
in peace, Linus. They're cute.
But before we let you go, though, or before I let you go, Renato, do you have any final thoughts?
I love and appreciate you. I love so deeply everybody, really. I want everyone to just have a nice, healthy life, but I know sometimes that's just not how it works. But I'm always rooting for people. If you're struggling, going through it, I feel hard for you. I empathize so hard. I cry almost daily. But yeah, I just hope everyone's doing good out there, and I hope you're good because I love you. I hope Sam's good. I hope your mom is good. Your sister's good. Everyone's good. And I hope the same for my family and friends and loved ones. Your pets, everything. I wish we had it all,
There's some more good stuff.
I'm glad you're here. Yeah. I'm glad you're here.
I'll be too, buddy.
I love you, buddy.
Don't worry, I'll cut that all out. No,
But also, fuck you. Yeah, fuck you.
we can't let anybody know we actually like each other.
Don't look at me.
No, that was actually that was a very sweet one. I like that. I think it's a great place to end it.
I think it's a good message for being away so long for all the stuff that's been going on.
Fair enough. All right, everybody. All I have to say is thanks again, and we hope to see you again soon. And I'm glad to be kind of back.
Yeah. We're so back.
We're so back.
It's so Jover. We're so back, baby. That cycle's just like every other month with us, dude.
That's okay. It's all for fun anyways.